We're about a month into watching this season. How are you feeling about what we've seen so far?
I mean, I like what you've seen because, you know, what was important for me is that you see what actually happened, and you are seeing what happened.
This has to stop. I've had 2 conversations with you on the telephone. You were drunk every time. I couldn't drink in my program. You need to stop.
Lie, 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 lie. That's all you do.
There was so much going on there. It was a point where someone in production said you were like Wonder Woman going zing, zing, zing with all the things that were coming at me, and you guys just get to see a smidge. I mean, I am different this season in that I've spent the last almost year focusing on myself and learning about myself and growing. And right now I'm comfortable being by myself, which I never thought I would say. And I feel good about that. And I'm creating healthy boundaries for myself. And part of that is not in situations to get overly reactive, but come back and make my point. That being said, too, I don't need to defend myself. I used to tend to do that, and I feel that now I know who I am, and those close to me know who I am as well. If the viewers or the fans believe the lies that other cast members are saying about me, then I'm sorry that they do, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Even in the harshest of times, this storms will always weather it.
There's this running joke online that the 10 years you've been on this show, you've never had like a good season. Every season has kind of punched you in the face.
I had a really good season 14. I did.
Okay, but for the record, 14, she's taking it, people. But coming in to this season, you know your DUI is going to be a topic of conversation. How did you mentally prepare yourself for all of those conversations you knew you were going to have with these women, and even the one you filmed with your daughters?
I'm so sorry and humiliated and that I disappointed you. Like, what kind of example am I at 59? Well, for me, a way to move past the guilt and the shame of what happened is to confront it head on. So I made a promise right after my DUI where I said, when I can speak about what happened on the night of my DUI, I will be transparent and talk about everything. And, you know, number one, I am so grateful that no one got hurt, because that is something that I don't think that I could have moved past. So again, so grateful. But I'm learning from that experience, and I'm trying. I still have a lot of shame, but I'm trying to create a positive out of it in any way I can.
What were your biggest fears in coming back to the show after that? Did you have something that was weighing on you of, oh, I know when this shoe drops?
Well, I knew that Tamra Judge was already gunning for me before the season started.
Shannon is not taking accountability for what she did.
Belvedere soda with a lemon.
You decided to drive your car into a house drunk.
It's never fun
Yeah.
to be up against Tamra.
Did you ever consider not coming back, taking the year off?
Well, absolutely. I wished that I could, but I didn't. And again, you know, you learn when you're on the show for this long, when you don't go to a dinner, you're going to be talked about at that dinner. So I needed to be there too to clarify, because as you're seeing this season, other people have a completely different narrative about me, and it's incorrect.
Do you not think she has an alcohol problem?
Yeah, I do. I don't drink anymore because she's 20 years ahead of me, and I looked at what that looked like, and I didn't like that.
When you think back to that night, do you have a memory of what happened, or is it kind of like all...
It's patchy, because I did get pretty injured in it. And, you know, when I finally came up to the police officers, I basically went unconscious and woke up in the hospital. So I don't remember much.
We've seen that one photo you shared with Heather.
Right.
Which was shocking, I think, to a lot of us. How much did this physically affect you?
It did. And I mean, to talk about that photo, by the way, because I've heard that certain cast members are thinking that I was looking for sympathy with that. I really went back and forth about showing that photograph, because now if someone Googles my name, you know, is that picture going to show up now for the rest of my life? But again, I promised to be transparent about what happened. And I want people to understand when you're mad and you go zoom in your car, which you shouldn't be in the first place, and you've been drinking, you can really hurt yourself. And I did. I've never broken a bone before, and I broke my nose and my arm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Have you watched the TMZ video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bryce, I literally kind of went into hiding almost. I mean, I was just, and I still am, so humiliated about what happened. And I've still kept my circle very small around me. You know, I haven't let that many people in because that's just what I need to get through it. It's just embarrassing.
Something that has stood out to me this season so far is, as sad as this fact is, it seemed like you needed to experience this to fully understand what Gina went through all those years ago. And it's put a lot in perspective for you.
Yes, it really has. You're a good mom and you're a responsible person, and I've always thought that that's who I was too. I just can really understand what you went through, so I'm sorry that I wasn't,
That's really,
that I wasn't
huge,
totally
Shannon.
there for you.
That's really commendable of you to say that.
You know, when we were filming that scene, I was overwhelmed with, all of a sudden, you'll see it a few times this season, all of a sudden I just get consumed with emotion. It just floods me, and that happened that day. And, I apologize to her for not being as understanding, because I was the person saying there's no excuse to ever get a DUI.
The stupidest thing that could happen to anyone is getting a DUI in today's world.
What would you say is the ultimate takeaway for you out of this experience? You do share on the show that you did take a kind of pullback look at your relationship with alcohol, and that you are using it as a crutch to numb yourself.
Yes.
So what is the lesson for you out of all of this?
Well, I have so many lessons. I mean, but first and foremost, it is that there are other mechanisms to cope with stress or misery or whatever you're going through in your life, and it's not alcohol. I mean, today I go on long walks, I exercise, I put cold packs on, I do breathing, and there's a bunch of different things that I do. But I've learned so many things by going to the program that I went to. I'm looking at myself and how I have dealt with things from my childhood on by stuffing them inside, not addressing them. So there is just a laundry list of good things that are coming out of what happened.
What's the biggest life change you've made in the year since?
Well, I suppose it would be being okay just being with me, because I'm a relationship girl. You could set me up with anybody and I'll be their girlfriend. And that's how my life has been so far. And I always feel like I'm not worthy if I don't have a partner with me. And it was very difficult at the beginning, when I finally moved and I was living by myself with Archie and not having my kids there and, just sitting there with me. It was really hard at the beginning. But I continue to work with my therapist and a psychiatrist from the facility that I went to. So I'm blessed to have them.
There's obviously been a lot of conversation around your relationship with alcohol. Mm-hmm. Why not just, even you don't have a problem, just for the optics alone, why not just go sober?
I mean, I did for a while. In my program, I couldn't drink. Although, other people seem to know exactly what I was doing every single day, which is not true. But for me, a part of that, I'll be honest with you, if Tamra Judge is coming out telling me what I need to do, and by the way, we weren't that close. Like, oh, they take things out on you. When we had our falling out for 2 years and she came back, I kept a bit of a distance. Like, I wasn't willing to bring things back to the way they were. So I don't know what kind of scenario she's trying to paint, but she was saying that I needed to stop. And before, in my divorce and in this period with John, I was miserable and I used alcohol to cope. But prior to that, I wouldn't. So I'm not going to let Tamra Judge tell me what I need to do. So today, I can go out and have a few drinks. I keep saying 2. Sometimes I've had 3, but I am keeping an eye on it. So let the viewers watch all of the cast members this year and see their relationship with alcohol, okay?
Tamra, we watch her sling the label alcoholic at you on camera.
Oh yeah, an alcoholic should drink.
Oh, it happens every time I film with her. It's It's a character damning thing to say to a person. And it's crossing the line because she has no knowledge, especially what I've been doing in the last year. She doesn't know. So it's not okay with me. And I'm not all right with it.
She has also said that this 28-day program you entered, that it was not an alcohol-based therapy and you sought treatment to find out why you were dating the wrong men.
What I wanted to get to the core of was, why do I make toxic choices? Choosing alcohol to cope falls in that category, but there are other choices that I was making too. So this program did have an alcohol component. I had a sober coach throughout the whole thing. So, I was there. It's called an intensive outpatient program. I was there every single day and, working with people. So I got it. I'm not just going to go to a place just so I can say I did it. I wanted to go to the place that was the best fit for me.
I want to get your reaction to a few more things she said when she was sitting in that chair a couple weeks ago. She called herself the best friend you ever had, and that's why things fell apart, because you didn't want to hear the truth from her.
Wow. Okay. So first of all, she said to me she didn't know what good friend was until she had met me. And I'm sorry, Tamra. I have other friends that have been true friends with me since college. They're called the Core Four. I reference that often. I have a Core Four.
She claims that you have misrepresented how she was there for you in the aftermath of the accident, and that she actually was there to see you through that hard time.
She wasn't. She left the day after my DUI for Scotland, and I found out that she'd been home for a week. Now, she was in the hospital. She was sick, but I found out she'd been home for a week. She didn't even ask about my program, nothing.
She says that she had to tell lies about you to make you look good for years, and now you're telling lies about her to make her look bad as retaliation. I'm very clear on this. Like, I don't feel the need to defend myself. Can I say roll tape, Tamra? Let's talk. Let's see. At one point I said every single person at this table has had a really serious issue with Tamra. That's just what she does. If Tamra wasn't talking about me this season, what would she be talking about, Bryce?
I didn't feel comfortable doing the show because Shannon just crashed her car into a house drunk. She needed to go to rehab.
Why didn't you call off those dates that kind of came right after the DUI that she took such issue with?
Okay, I'll tell you why. It was a little over a month from the DUI. And it's actually quite funny because I had been to BravoCon and I got through it okay. And for me again, I'm not going to hide under a rock. I want to confront the issue. So my life doesn't need to end by doing this. I know that Luann did a show a month after her issue. So I'm okay doing that. We did 2 nights in Phoenix and we took anything alcohol related out of the show. Do you know what happened the second night? Tamra goes, we're putting the alcohol song back in. And I said, I don't feel comfortable about that. I just got a DUI. No, it's fine. We're putting it in.
She has also said that Vicky privately holds the same feelings about you that she does, but lies to your face.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
No. I don't. I talk to Vicky every day.
Do you have any hopes of reconciling with Tamra? Is the door open even a smidge for that?
What did I learn at a facility that helped me create healthy boundaries for myself? I had a toxic relationship with Tamra. Every year she had a problem with me, has had a problem with something I did or didn't do. And every time, in deference to the friendship, I just kind of brush off certain things. I'm not going back this time. I'm not. But watch the show. She says she's done with me. I'm fine with that.
In her criticism of you as a friend, she has re-brought up she dropped me when she was let go from the show.
I actually have 150 pages of screenshots of text messages between that 2-month period that she said I ghosted her. And that's just texts, not calls. I could probably get that record from my phone company.
Okay. Taylor Armstrong came out on her own podcast and shared a very similar take.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from her in quite some time, and I actually have been really hurt over it.
Have you reevaluated how you maybe approach some of these friendships moving forward?
You know what? I've apologized to Taylor because, like I said, after my DUI, I really cut most people out of my life. It's interesting that Tamra put that bug in Taylor's ear because we did have plans, and we had lunch plans and whatnot. She had guests, so she backed out. But I did have her come to my house at Christmas walk, but the phone works both ways. I mean, I really haven't been reaching out to people, you know, I don't really go out either. Like, I don't go to big restaurants or let's go to the bar. I have a few neighborhood spots that I go to. So I apologized to Taylor recently. So, but it's good subject matter. I take responsibility. Yes, I was not dialing Taylor off the hook, but I cared about her. I spent a lot of time with her, and I called her my sister, and I apologize for any part of that. And, you know, for Tamra too, I apologize to her if you think that I was ghosting you back then. We were filming again, and we all know what happens when you're filming. You're flipping busy.
Yeah, you're in the storm.
Right.
No pun intended.